Hi, it's Joanne. Today I'm going to be watching Batwoman Season 2, Episode 2, Prior Criminal History. Is that going to be linked to Ryan somehow? Is that going to be linked to Alice? Or who knows? I loved the season opener. I thought it was fantastic. I had so many reservations about them not just recasting Kate, but them getting in a new Batwoman, and so far I have loved Ryan. I just found that episode devastatingly emotional. I still am in complete denial Kate is not dead, but I'm just excited to see where it's going to go next, and that ending was definitely surprising. So yes, I do not want to wait any longer. Reminder that you can find the unedited version up on my Patreon right now, and you can also do all the usual Patreon stuff, but yeah, let's not wait any longer now, let's go. I don't need... What has she done to those bats? And that, like, what is happening? I'm so confused. That looks like a demonic bat. Batwoman saved her. She's not bad. Batwoman's tools herself.
And what does mine tell you?
That you're a prejudiced guy.
This shocking footage has sparked anger among
Your daughter. Sophie knows too.
Kate was what? Because
oh,
like Batwoman.
Oh, so they're working together to interrogate them.
Told you her other friends, people she was close to.
Dad, now you're just rubbing it in. Kate spent years trying to push me away. It's not that she's about to use
just looking into any possible enemies.
You mean other than every agent in this building? Right? Or maybe just the ones that lured her.
I mean, Sophie wasn't really her fault.
Please. Oh, now you got something to say.
It was Kate's secret. It was Kate's secret.
It wasn't my secret to tell. Just your secret to keep.
Yeah, for Kate.
Can't imagine Kate would...
What happened with the kryptonite? Oh god. Batwoman, we need Batwoman.
Thanks. The safe.
Oh, good job, sweetheart. Oh god. She literally just scared off the bad guy. There'll be CCTV of that in here.
Ex-lady friend. Is that why she wasn't driving the getaway car this time?
Oh my god, Sophie! Don't have such prejudices. I get why she does, but...
I read that.
About the security footage.
Yeah! Why? Why would you investigate anyone without checking the footage first? Interrogate, sorry.
Mistake.
You should be.
The girl's last mistake only cost me 18 months of my life. And counting.
You think I don't know the real reason Jacob Kane won't put a bullet in her?
Is
The
the...
sympathy he had for her died a long time.
Are there rumours on the streets?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
That if Alice weren't white, she'd be dead.
Sorry for the inconvenience, Ms. Baldwin.
Oh.
You're free to go.
Alice is Beth Kane, isn't she?
Sophie gave that away.
Nobody's found.
Some bones were found.
That was, I mean, does covering up for her run in the family?
She murdered Mary's mother.
My mom, I would never help her.
I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah, she's...
my mom died in my arms.
They can relate with that.
Tell me where I can find her. And I will get justice.
But talk about your kryptonite problem. Why are we seeing her here?
Need a tissue?
Oh.
Believe it or not, I'm not. Do things we would normally never fathom doing, which is why
Like working with you.
a little supervillain super.
She's in the Crow's parking lot. I love Alice. She's a terrible person.
I ever work with a psychopath.
But Kate?
Because there's another psychopath hunting you who's even scarier than me, let's be real. Well, we could do a couple of trust falls first. Work up to the idea?
You don't have anyone.
And she killed Mouse.
You know what else I don't have? A knife sticking out of me.
Yeah. Pissing off Alice was a silly move, but...
I don't know.
What is in the bats? What venom have they got? Or... Oh, Christ. She's scared of bats.
What? I really hate bats.
That's funny because she's gonna be Batwoman. I see what you did there.
Say the same for anyone else.
What do you mean?
Alice told Julia she was playing something. Said she used the words brilliant and terrifying. For Alice, it's pretty.
Anywhere without Batwoman. Okay, so we put Julie in the suit. She's worn it before. It fits. You can tell them all to go home.
I think she's too hurt. It's not an option.
That's why they had her stabbed.
20 minutes.
Mary?
Mary wants her to become Batwoman. I do understand why Luke is kind of having this reaction, and I think it's really natural having, you know, someone like Mary, who we kind of saw last episode, actually wants Ryan to take over being Batwoman, you know, while Kate's not around. Because the city needs a Batwoman. And then, I mean, I don't think Mary's necessarily fully fledged that idea in her head, but that is kind of where she's leaning. And she has a real connection with Ryan over them both losing their mothers in their arms because of Alice. And then you have on Luke's side of it that Ryan is just some random woman that found the Batsuit in the wreckage, stole it, ran around the city with it, trying to get revenge and murder someone. I mean, I don't know, again, whether it came down to it, she'd have been able to, but, you know, kind of that. I can see why to Luke, not wanting her to take over Kate's legacy, to try and, you know, say that, oh, it's being Batwoman is as simple as just finding the suit and putting it on, and that will hurt him in his grieving process even more than it would have done just naturally. So I can totally understand both sides of it, but it's also like, oh, are they gonna think Kate is back? I love that she's still a little.
Yeah, you want to use the cape to slow your descent.
Look heroic. Now clench those.
Mary should have done it at this rate. Oh, it's not your daughter. I'm sorry. I mean, Kate's fine. She's alive. I wouldn't say fine, but alive. Yeah, okay, they can see it's not.
You need to get out of here immediately.
Her voice even sounds different through the muffle.
You got them fooled.
Oof. Oh, what is Alice's plan?
I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, look. I know what she did to your mom.
Oh, come on.
And I get what she took away
Luke
from you.
is the
but
voice.
Batwoman does not kill.
Well, like you said, I'm not Batwoman.
Oh.
Let's find out.
Oof. First big fight.
You know what I'm really not okay
Oh.
with? Everybody just expecting me to get over the fact that Alice killed my mom.
I know, my
Maybe
love.
If Kate would have done what Ryan's trying to do, she'd still be alive.
You willing to bet Kate's legacy on that?
Oh, I see both sides, and I get why Ryan's impulse, because, you know, yeah, I'm totally against killing. Alice deserves prison, but like,
Oh, we got a problem.
Care to be more specific?
Right? It's a big problem.
We're under attack from bats. Are running for cover. I've never seen anything.
go!
They could be the carriers for the toxin that killed him.
Oh Christ, of course.
I gotta get back to the clinic.
Oh, Mary, I love you. Ryan, I know, my love. And actually a fair few times with Kate, that was what stopped her getting to Alice. Ah!
Who are you?
The chick who just saved your life.
Something to make you more comfortable.
Oh my god.
Like,
Anyone that is rooting for Alice needs to stop.
I just figured I'd missed a lot of your birthdays, so...
What? Is Alice trying to make a connection here to get like a weird, make Mary believe in her? Too late.
I think you miss Kate.
Uh-huh.
I think it's your sick way of grieving.
Stab her.
Handful.
It's alright, Mary. Test the blood. It's probably the truth because, like you said, Alice is in a weird way kind of wanting a real connection with somebody.
You got 3 lanes. Try to stay in one of them.
I love that she's got the Batmobile.
No, that's a homeless encampment. There's people there.
Oof.
Okay, working on it.
No rush.
They're gonna become great friends. I can see it. Oh. It's a very secure van, I suppose. Yep. It's a good plan. Oh god. Good job, Ryan. I mean, if Kate had seen her, she would have protected her too. But I love that Ryan, having been someone that's lived on the street, she's so aware of and awake to the fact that there will be people lurking around that are not fortunate, especially in a city like Gotham. They all did.
Oh, no, I'm not really Batwoman.
Oh.
Well, you are to me.
Oh, see, Batwoman saved you and gave you hope that night, and now you've given her hope. Whew.
Opener. I don't think we're ready for the main event. Me neither. I just hope the new Batwoman is. Me too.
Yep. Kate is alive. I love Mary, we're keeping our faith.
Becca will just scare her off.
Sophie?
Did she say she loved you?
She did.
In the letter. You don't trust me? Or because I'm not Kate?
Kind of both, but mainly the second one, the first one.
Both.
Yep. I can understand Sophie wanting trust. Trust in a relationship is huge, but I think in a weird way, Sophie should look at it as like, Julia was willing to keep Kate's secret to the grave, you know. Nothing was going to make her spill. It didn't matter how much she potentially cared about Sophie, so if Sophie ever needs to share a secret with her, Julia will not be telling anyone.
I don't want to give up hope that Kate's alive.
Me neither.
You believe she's still alive, don't you?
We have to.
Together.
I have so many issues with Kane, but he cares about his kids. And he's all the family Mary has left right now. I'm emotional.
We already have a Batwoman.
Where was she last night?
At least let her be there to fill in while
Best
Kate's
thing that
not
ever
here.
happened to me was a day. Maybe she didn't spend enough time with him. I've been trapped in a life surrounded by
It's
criminals.
true. They have different areas of expertise.
Alice is planning something big, then the city's gonna need a Batwoman.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, so do I.
Yeah.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Until Kate's back.
Come on. I'll show you around.
Before we get to the emotional ending, I think as well, like, potentially, I know that we are very unlikely that Ruby Rose is going to return in any prolonged capacity, but if she, say Kate does, you know, she swims out of the river and is like, oh, lost my memory for a day there, hi, I'm not a fish, I don't know, and Kate comes back, it would actually be really useful to have more than one person who is Batwoman. I mean, okay, sure, yeah, people would be like, oh, it's the white Batwoman, it's the black Batwoman, you know, people would be able to tell, but I think, you know, the work-life balance would be a lot better if, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world for Kate to go on holiday. It wouldn't be the end of the world for Ryan to say, oh, look, I just need a week where I'm not thinking about the city. You know, kind of, I think in reality, getting multiple people who can take on the suit would be better. And then, like, I don't know, if they were both available, you could think, oh, okay, this is a situation where Kate's expertise comes in handy, or this is a situation where Ryan's expertise comes in handy. That would be a good plan. But I do understand why to Luke it feels a bit like he's betraying Kate or giving up on her.
Talk to me, Gotham.
I feel like some people would now, there would be conspiracy theories online that it was Kate Kane was the original Batwoman because she dies, a new one turns up, they're both gay. Can they hire her to Wayne Enterprises or to Pride Real Estate or something in, like, name? Because even that would probably help her if she were to need another job down the line, having had a company that was respected that took her on.
Who reminded me of myself.
Oh,
Scared,
but
fearless.
yes, it's really emotional. Oh, I'm really emotional about this. I don't know if I am capable for an Alice scene right now.
Miracle cure has drawn Sapphire's wrath.
Oh, another Sapphire assassin.
That was what I intended.
I'm glad we know her plan now.
Stupid. But first she has to see me.
Oh goodness. Is she taking her to Sapphire? I mean, Alice doesn't seem too put out by this. It's probably her plan all along to get taken to Sapphire, I guess. Another fantastic episode. I like how they have managed to introduce Ryan as Batwoman. I like that we've seen that Ryan not only does have the skills, not in the same way as Kate, but in a different way that kind of complements the concept of being Batwoman. But I love the way that she's able to draw on her experiences to become a Batwoman that is going to be successful and thrive in a very different way to Kate, and how there are still some aspects of the suit and everything that she's a bit funky and doesn't quite know what to do, in the same way that Kate struggled a little bit at first, although Kate was the one that kind of designed or you know, came up with the modifications to the bat suit. So like, yeah, the differences, I enjoy them, and how they've managed to work in kind of Ryan is someone who has been in a very sort of desperate position in a lot of her life, or at least been in kind of, the world has not handed her many chances, and when they've given her those chances they tend to smack them out of her hand and beat her down, and in one of those moments Kate stepped in and, you know, Batwoman was there, Batwoman saved her, and she helped save herself. Had she had tools to her hand, she would have saved herself in the first place. So I really enjoy that kind of she was able to show Kate what Kate was fighting for, in the same way that Kate was able to kind of give her a little spark, a little moment. And I love that Mary just has such hope in her, because I think for Mary, she is definitely someone that deals with her grief and her concern and her fear and her hurt by just pushing forward, whether it's going to the clinic and just working to help people, and getting a new Batwoman to continue Kate's legacy, as long as Ryan agrees not to kill, is, I think, a really good step for her. And it's someone that she knows Kate would enjoy Ryan. You know, I'm whatever Kate's feelings are about handing over the Batsuit, I don't know, especially given that, like, it was Bruce's originally, but I think we know that Kate and Ryan would be able to get on very well, and I think that is something that Mary can see as well, and it's kind of keeping the legacy alive, keeping Gotham's hope alive will help Mary keep her own hope alive about Kate. And if Kate is alive and in some kind of trouble somewhere, having a Batwoman can only help us. So I love that we were able to see that sort of thing, and I am kind of glad that there wasn't as much emotional crying this episode, because I would have been another wreck. But I really love as well that Mary was able to see that, yes, okay, Alice had a much wider plan. Alice, you know, she was doing all of her shenanigans were to get to Sophia, I know that. But she could have just dropped that cure off at Hamilton Labs with a note. You know, she could have done anything. She didn't have to go to Mary, but she did. First she went to Julia to try and get someone to team up with her, didn't work. Then she went to Mary because they are sisters, and I think that, yeah, I don't know if any part of Alice would have truly believed Mary would feel about her the same way Kate did, but I think that is a part of her that misses there being a person in the world that gives a shit that she's alive, especially having killed Mouse. I think if Mouse had lingered into life to this point in the show, Alice would not have killed him, because she would not have wanted to be completely alone. And if Kate is not out there, then there is no one that cares. And I think a little part of her was trying to kind of treat Mary the way she would have treated Kate in that scenario. And Mary is not going to have it. You know, I think while Kate was alive, as much as, like she said in this episode, why does everyone want me to just forget that she murdered my mother? I think while Kate was around, because Kate's alive, it was harder for Mary to kind of express her anti-Alice feelings, although she did, because she could understand why Kate had the conflict, but anybody else in the city having conflict with her is just stupid. And anyone that watches this show and roots for Alice, I really worry about you, because she's not a good person. And like, she's had her redemption chance many a time and she's thrown it away. So I'm intrigued. Alice going after Saphira, that was the plan overall here. I'm glad that at the end we kind of, because I was like, I know that her plan is for Saphira, so why is she targeting Bat fans? Why is she doing, but it does all make sense, because it was the poison from Saphira, etc. She got her attention, so now Saphira is, I assume, bringing her in to kill her in person, I think is what that end moment was, which I guess was Alice's plan all along. She did not seem even the least bit concerned when she saw that assassin, Tatiana, did you call her? So maybe we're actually going to see Saphira soon. I'm guessing Alice's plan is to try and kill Saphira herself while she's there. I wonder if in that we're going to learn some kind of thing about Kate being alive. Is Saphira going to be like, oh, too bad she left the plane? I don't know. Like, I feel like if Kate can't have had much time to escape, so either the pilot was someone working with Saphira who killed themselves willingly, or Kate kind of figured out the last second and wasn't able to save the pilot in saving herself. I'm very intrigued about what actually happened there, but it does seem like we might be meeting Saphira soon, and I'm very intrigued. Ryan, again, it was crushing to kind of see yet again, like, here she is with a job that she is more than capable of. She has got the martial arts experience, she can handle herself, she has got, like she said, experience, like she was able to spin the concept of having been in prison into a way that was something that would actually be an asset on that job. And you'd like to think there would be somebody somewhere out there that would give someone like her a chance, because yeah, okay, I can't exactly remember what her charge was, what her crime was. Was it like drug possession with intent to distribute or something? Because 15 years or whatever is a really long time to just having some drugs on you. I mean, the whole war on drugs is very messed up. Like, yeah, drug dealers need to go to prison. Yeah, people that have drugs maybe need that as like a wake-up call, but the way that it's criminalized, when so many people who do have drug addictions, it's just mental health issues. Like, it's a mess. This isn't what this video is about. But for Ryan to really be in that position where she loses the job, and then she's in that convenience store, as Americans call them, I believe. She helps protect the store, the man, you know, she scares off the robbers, and then the crows don't even give her a chance. You know, of course, arrest her and bring her in, because you see someone standing over a body, you check the prints, they come back quickly, and her prints are on the gun. Fine, okay, keep her around in custody just in case. But don't start interrogating her until you've checked the CCTV. And we know that it was a crow that planted the evidence on her. And I think last season, didn't we come across some dodgy crows and now they're not around anymore? But in general, like, there are bad people in every police force, and in some of them they dominate the force and some of them they don't. But whenever a member of that force acts as though they don't exist, I mean, yeah, Ryan is always going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, because she's not been given a chance her whole life, and the one time she got a chance, it was taken. Like, I just think Sophie is not intentionally having sort of prejudice against people that are ex-cons or whatever. She's not intentionally being like a not thoughtful person who's seeing past initial glances, but she is just very much someone that's the product of her environment and her upbringing. And I'd kind of like maybe at some point for Sophie to, maybe she's eventually going to find out Ryan's Batwoman, and then she's going to be like, oh, and I don't know, change her opinion a bit. But I think it was realistic that Sophie would have that attitude. I think a lot of people have that attitude, especially about, like, oh, if you went to prison, you're a bad person. It's not that black and white. And she knows there are dodgy crows. Ryan didn't really have that much. It seems as though Ryan had an ex who was not good. It seems as though she had an ex who was a criminal and she covered for her a few times. But I guess you can see where Ryan ended up in those positions. But no matter what, I think it was a really interesting way that, you know, I don't hate Sophie for having that kind of attitude. I wish she could be slightly more enlightened on it, but at the same time, a lot of criminals say they didn't do it, and a lot of those people did do it, so I get why they had that interaction. But I kind of hope that maybe the fact that on the tape it showed that she didn't do anything wrong and she was actually helping would help Sophie to change her mind in the future. But then also Sophie was grieving and dealing with the fact that Batwoman was Kate and Kate never told her, and that the girl she was potentially forming a relationship with also lied to her. Like, Sophie's mental state was not in the most open-minded at that point. So for Ryan, you kind of keeps losing jobs or whatever, and that this batsuit has given her hope, a purpose, a way to do good in the world the way she wants to. I hope, I know I said it a couple times in the reaction, I don't know whether I kept it in the edited version or not, that in some way Luke could hire her. Like, not as, obviously, because as Batwoman she's going to be doing a hell of a lot of good work, but Batwoman doesn't have a salary. But she could be given a job in the Pride real estate, if that still exists, or in Wayne Enterprise, some kind of job somewhere, on paper at least, to give her enough of an income to get somewhere to live, if nothing else, to have on her record that she's had this job. Because, yes, she would hopefully be able to find somewhere out there a forward-thinking employer who would take her on based on her skills, because they do exist, but they are few and far between. But maybe having a job previously in between, like prison, etc., would help her. But just for her sake, so she doesn't have to live on the streets in her van while risking her life every night. I'm intrigued about what's going to happen with her there. I'm loving Ryan still. Luke, I totally understand why he's hesitant to do it, especially because, you know, you can see Ryan, see that she's a good person, has good instincts. You can believe that the crows planted the evidence on her because there's been so much of that going around. But at the same time, there would always be a tiny voice in the back of your head being like, is she lying? But more importantly than that will be the fact that it's Kate's suit, and in a way replacing Kate, does that feel like giving up on her? I still stand by what I said, that you should have two Batwomen, because then they can take breaks, or if one's injured there's another one that can run around, you know, like, don't depend on the one. But I like that at the end Luke came through. Luke was kind of able to acknowledge that, yeah, she's capable, we do need a Batwoman, it's probably what Kate would have wanted, and even though it still pains him a little bit, he's dealing with this concept in a very different way to Mary. I still love Luke, and I'm really looking forward to watching him and Ryan develop a friendship over the course of the show. When he and Mary were being interrogated, it was not nice. I mean, are they interrogating them on the basis that Batwoman's bad? Obviously not. So it was kind of treating them like they were criminals, when of course they weren't going to be like, oh hey Sophie, you're a crow, that organisation that constantly hates Batwoman. By the way, it's Kate. You know, they could never risk that. And I think the fact of the matter is, if you're they can't be mad at Kate for not telling them right now, especially Sophie, because Kate is potentially dead and not here to be mad at, so they're being mad at other people they think kept the secret. But it was Kate's secret. I don't think Julia... Yeah, I can see why Sophie might need a step away from their relationship or might want to not form anything with her because of that secret, but at the same time, how could she tell her? Because it was Kate's secret. Now for Jacob, I think he is drowning in the concept that he made Kate feel unloved in her last hours, and I mean he did. Kate, one of the, potentially the last time we saw Kate in Batwoman was her crying or being very upset because her dad would never accept that part of her and wanted her dead. I remember being devastated about that moment, and that was actually one of the things that I was most upset about when she wasn't going to be in it anymore, was because I wanted that to kind of reach a conclusion where Kate could be happier. So for Jacob, he is drowning in that, and I think a part of him is thinking, after he interrogated Mary, that what if he pushes her away too? Would not be good because she's all he has left until they find Kate. And I like that bit at the end where kind of he's not pushing her for any more answers about Batwoman. She's kind of saying she knew it was Kate without saying she knew it was Kate, but their agreement to work together was kind of like an admission that they're all they have left and they're not giving up on Kate. And I think Mary needed to hear someone else really not give up on Kate. I'm emotional. I understand Jacob being angry at the new Batwoman because, you know, in a weird way he's still anti-Batwoman to an extent, but also now that's his daughter's legacy. You can't be, you're not my daughter. I'm intrigued where that's going to go forward, but I can definitely see that being him being against Batwoman. I wonder if he's going to think Mary's linked with the new one, or did Mary manage to convince him that she had nothing to do with it? So Alice, I've talked about her I think already actually, haven't I? I mean, she was willing to kill God knows how many people because Hamilton dynamics could have mucked up, or Mary could have not trusted her and not taken the vials. Like, Alice is not a good person. She's missed out on all her chances. But I think it is telling that a part of her does miss Kate. It's what I said last episode, as much as her predominant feeling, especially with how she and Kate left things, will be, oh, I can't get my revenge, damn it. It was still her sister, and Kate gave her so many chances that I think that love, that bond, never completely died. But now there is a new Batwoman who is not so hesitant to use deadly force on her and to stop her, and I'm intrigued. Just in general, I think this is poised to be a really brilliant series. We have the Saphira mystery, we have the new Batman, we have where's Kate? I'm just so loving this show. I don't know, I feel like I've missed things because I feel like I've gone in a very roundabout ramble, but this show makes me emotional. I loved this episode. You can find the unedited version of this up on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.